Hi there, welcome to another episode of WordPress theme development from scratch. And in this video, we're going to talk about the WordPress template hierarchy and creating different page templates to be able to see our content on the front end. Now, whenever you go to like posts or pages, and if you want to view them, these files on the front end, WordPress follows a template hierarchy to determine what file is responsible to load the content of that page. And the way it does is basically through this template hierarchy. Now, if you go to this particular template hierarchy chart that's available in WordPress core documentation, then you'll be able to see that this is the path WordPress follows. For instance, if it's going to be a single post page, like you see here, then it's going to check what type of post page it is, whether it's a blog post, custom post, attachment post. I'll go with a simple implementation first. I'm not going to go into like different types of it, just the very, very basic. So let's say it was a blog post, then it checks, if there's a file that's available for a particular slug and subtype, all of this. And if it is available, it's going to load that file. Otherwise, it'll keep going in this direction. There is a separate video I've created for WordPress template hierarchy where I've explained everything in detail. So you can take a look at it and watch it and to get a better understanding. But following this hierarchy for our course, we'll just stick to this one, single.php. So if it doesn't find any of the files you've created with these names, then it's going to pick up single.php if it exists. If it doesn't, it'll pick up singular.php, or if that also doesn't exist, then it'll go for index.php. So eventually, at least you should have index.php for your theme to work. That's a minimal file required. And after index.php, if you have any of these files names, it's just going to pick up that following that particular hierarchy. For the pages, it's going to follow this this one, page template, custom or default, followed by this, then go to page.php or singular.php, followed by index.php. Then for archive pages, it looks for these ones, and then followed by archive.php. If that's not available, then index.php. So for our purposes, we're just going to do the basics. First thing, we'll focus on making sure that the index.php has everything that we need. So if you go to our project, I'm just going to close everything so it's clear. And here's our index.php in the root. I'm going to go to my index.php of this branch, add WordPress scripts of WordPress example. I'm going to basically copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so what's happening here? Here, this is the main template file, which is WordPress that you must have, which is index.php. It's going to look for get header. So that's going to look for, this is a WordPress core function. It's going to look for header.php. So I'm going to create one. Header, header.php, and then footer.php. Here, new footer.php. Okay. Then, so get header looks for the header.php and get footer looks for the footer.php. We'll add the content in these files in a moment, but just to let you know. Then you have just main. This is a WordPress loop. It's called the loop, and it basically runs through all your post content, and it's going to say, if the posts are available, then loop through, and whatever is here, just render that. So like while have post, the posts, that's the WordPress loop, and whatever you're going to call inside that is going to be rendered for that many times, depending on number of posts that you have. So over here, we're starting from here. If have post, then I'm checking if the user is on the home page or the front page. Okay, so home page and front page can be set up from here. Okay, from here you can set it up. Then go ahead and render this header within h1. Single post title is a WordPress function. So this is the WordPress function which displays or retrieves the page title of the post. Okay, so if you pass true, it will basically going to display it, otherwise just going to return it. Okay, so by default it's true. Okay, so it's going to display this title. Then inside of the loop, I'm calling the template parts because I'm going to use the same post template in multiple places. It's better to create template parts, which are like chunks of codes that can be reused. So I'm going to create template parts, and I'm going to get the content. So I'll go back here under template parts here and get the content. Okay, so template part content.php. Okay, this is where you have basically the article tag, HTML tag, and then you have the ID, which displays the ID of the post. You have the post class, again WordPress function. If it's singular page, it's going to render this, otherwise it's going to render that. Okay, these are our custom functions, which I will basically add that in a moment. Let me make sure that I have it. Yeah, I have not created those yet, so I will comment it out for now. I'm going to add them later. And this one, Aquila post thumbnail. Let's see if I have added that yet. Yep, I have added that. So I'm going to make sure that all the custom functions is being added. So go to includes, helpers, custom functions, and make sure all the custom functions are available to us. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. And make sure we have the custom functions here. So basically these are helper functions, which allows us to reuse a bunch of functionalities. So that's why I've created it. We won't go through all of this on this particular video, but I'll explain each of these functions as we progress along. But for now, all we know, we need Aquila post thumbnail, which is defined in the custom functions, which is just checking if the password is required, if it's an attachment, if that post has thumbnail, and if depending on these conditions, you either return, or if it's a singular page, then return the post thumbnail, or if it's not a singular page, then go ahead and return with the anchor tag. Okay, so if you're on a single post page, it's just going to return the image. But if you're not on, let's say you're on a home page or blog post page, then it's going to return the link also, so that you can go to that particular post. So you can click on the image and it goes to that particular post. Okay, so that's that. And then you're just using the content, which is a WordPress function, the job of which is basically to render the content and making sure we are adding this continue reading for the screen reader text. We're getting the title, etc. And then this is for pagination. So WP link pages allows us to render the pagination. And then it also has the footer, which is using the Aquila entry footer. Again, I've not defined that yet, so I'm just going to comment that out. And it's going to get the ID. Okay, so that's what's happening in the content. Let's get back to our index. So we have that, and then we need the post navigation. The post navigation. So it's a WordPress function. That's for the navigation of the post. It renders the navigation basically. Like next previous set of posts were applicable. Then we have the get template part, content none. Let's say no posts were found. We do want to display something in that case, right? So we need the content none. So I'm going to go to template paths, go to content none, and I'll just copy this one. Content template paths, file, content none. Oops, I think it didn't create the PHP. Rename .php. Okay, paste it. Okay, so if nothing is found, then we're just going to say nothing is found. Again, if the user is on home page and if the current user can publish post, then we'll say ready to publish the first post and just take the user to the backend where they can publish the post. Okay, if it's a search page, then we just say nothing is found and give the search form to the user. So this function renders the search form. Otherwise, we get the search form and I just say it seems that what you're looking to find is not available in case the search results were not found. Okay, so that's what happens in the if there were no posts available. And then you have the get sidebar function, which is going to get the sidebar file. So you need to have the sidebar file into your theme. If you, that's what it actually picks up. So if I go to the root, I create new file called sidebar.php. So this function is going to look for the sidebar.php file and is going to render that particular sidebar. So it's saying if the sidebar is active, this one, then go ahead and get that sidebar. Okay, so we'll discuss the sidebar later. I'm just keeping the focus on the index.php for now. So let's go to the front end and see how it's working. So I'll go visit site. Right now you can see we have test post, hello world, welcome to WordPress. Of course, there are no styles being loaded because we haven't really, like, there are not much styles right now. And the reason for that is because in the header.php, we haven't really called WP head. That's why even though we are enqueuing styles, those styles are not available. So let's do the header.php. So I'll go over here and I'll go to header.php and I'm going to copy this. Folks, if you're thinking I'm giving you like all this information without going through each and every code one by one, the whole reason why is because if I went ahead and typed each of these codes, it's going to take ages. If you want to go into the detail, every single detail of these functions, I already have advanced WordPress theme development course on this channel. You can go through it, and there I have done like line by line. But the idea of this particular course is to show you the modern way of theme development. So I'm assuming you already have some idea of how a theme is developed, just showing you how to do it in a modern way, like in 2026. Okay. Now, but like I said, if you don't have background, go to my channel, look for advanced WordPress theme development, and there you can go step by step and get a bit more understanding. But anyways, so all you have is the header.php. We start from doc type HTML language attributes is going to render that, whether it's ENUS or any other one that you've set. You have the head, blog info, viewport, all the required tags are present here. This WP head is responsible for rendering all the styles that are supposed to be enqueued. You have the body class, so this will render the body class. You have WP body open, and then you have skip to content link, which is required for the accessibility. Then you have the custom logo, with job of which is to render the custom logo that you have added in the backend from from here. And this checks if it's a front page or is home, and then it basically renders the site title. Render site title either in H1 or on paragraph. Then this gets the description display, if it's a preview or not. Depending on that, it's going to render the site description. This will give us the site navigation. So whatever menu you have registered over here in here, whatever you've created, those menus are going to be available onto the front end. So that's your header. Okay. So now we'll do the footer. So if you go over here, footer, there's footer here. So we'll do the footer now. Footer. Okay. So then you have the footer. You have the WordPress org. This takes you to the WordPress org, proudly powered by whatever the text you have on the footer. Then the month, etc. And then it gives you the theme name, ends the footer, WP footer function, WordPress function. That we rendered over here in the footer, and then you close the body tag and HTML tag. And now if you go to the front end, if I go back, go to the front end, now you can see that is slightly better. If I inspect, you can see that under the head tag, we have link. Where is it? Yeah, these styles being loaded, emoji styles and all that. And regarding the assets, if I go back to functions.php, remember we have the get instance. Oops. For the Aquila theme, right? And we had commented this out, right? So now I'm going to uncomment this, and let's see if there are any errors. So now if I uncommented that, now you can see editor.css is being loaded, main.css is being loaded, right? All of these files are being loaded, right? Main.css is also being loaded, right? Now, of course, it doesn't have much going on in there, but we'll add that later. But those files are included, all right? So that's your single.php. I'm not going to worry about adding the styles yet. I'm just going to complete and finish adding all the templates first, and then we'll go and do the styling part, okay? But the files are being included, which is great. Excellent. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.